Why do we expect men to process pain the same way women do? Think about it for a second. When a woman is struggling, like really struggling, what does she do? She calls someone. She talks it through. She explores every angle until she finds clarity. And that works. That's healthy processing. But when a man is struggling with the exact same thing, we expect him to do the same thing, right? And when he doesn't, when he goes quiet, when he throws himself into work, when he's out there fixing something at midnight instead of talking about something, we slap a label on him and we tell him he's emotionally unavailable. But what if, and stay with me here, what if we've got this completely backwards? What if men aren't broken versions of women, but something else entirely? Let me paint you a picture of what male emotional processing looks like. We don't vent, we don't complain, we don't join the Victim Olympics to compete for the trauma trophy. We just work. And when we're done working, we work some more. That's how we cope. That's how we stay sane. So if you're judging men by how expressive they are, you're going to miss the strongest ones every single time, because the strongest man doesn't announce their struggle. They carry it. And then they carry yours too. Now, I know what you're thinking. Julius, this sounds like suppressing emotions. That sounds unhealthy. And you know what? Sometimes it is. But let me be crystal clear here. I'm not defending the man who weaponizes silence. There's a difference between processing quietly and silence for attention. I'm also not talking about the guy who gets drunk instead of dealing with problems. And I'm not excusing the man who punches the fridge because he's too immature to hold his own anger. That's the male equivalent of a princess stomping her foot. It's desperate attention seeking, "Mummy, solve my problems," for his issues. I'm talking about mature masculine processing, not man-child tantrums disguised as strength. There's a massive difference between suppressing emotions and what I call sublimating them. Suppressing is shoving feelings down, pretending they don't exist, numbing them out with alcohol, porn, or punishing everyone around you with silence and anger. Sublimating is transforming that pain into something productive. It's emotional alchemy, turning lead into gold. When a woman is overwhelmed, the solution is to talk through every angle until clarity emerges. When a man is overwhelmed, he might reorganize the garage in silence until his mind feels as ordered as his tools. When a woman is anxious about the problem, she talks to many people as she can to get a consensus. When he's anxious about the same problem, he isolates himself and builds a solution with his own hands. When she feels the weight of family stress, she seeks connection and understanding. When he feels the exact same weight, he quietly works to eliminate what's causing it. When she's worried about money, she processes by discussing every scenario with someone she trusts. When he's worried about money, he creates a spreadsheet at midnight and quietly builds a plan in silence that starts with his own sacrifice. When she's hurt by something, she might need to talk through until she feels heard. When he's hurt by something, he might disappear into his workshop for 3 hours and emerge with the perfectly clean and fixed lawnmower. When she's frustrated with the kids, she calls her mum and vents so she feels supported. When he's frustrated with his kids, he goes for a run until his head clears and he can parent calmly again. Same feelings, same depth of care, same desire for resolution, just different pathways to peace. But here's where it gets really interesting. You want to know what's really going on in his head? The conversation he's having with himself that he'll never say out loud. I feel like I'm failing at everything that matters. Work is crushing me, but I can't show it because people depend on me at work and my family depends on my paycheck. My wife is stressed and I don't want to add to it with my problems. My kids barely look up when I come home. I'm carrying debt, pressure, expectations, and everyone keeps asking me to open up about it. But what's the point? What does talking about it actually solve? Everyone's already worried enough. The world doesn't need my problems. They need my solutions. The kids don't need to know that their dad feels lost sometimes, so I'll just figure it out, like I always do. I'll work harder, I'll sleep less, I'll fix more, and I'll carry what I can't, because that's what I do. I don't fall apart, I hold it together, even when, especially when, everything inside me wants to crumble. That's not toxic masculinity, that's protective masculinity. The willingness to suffer privately so others don't have to. And here's what's really messed up about our culture right now. We've decided that emotional expression is the only path to emotional intelligence, that talking about feelings is the only way to handle them, that vulnerability requires an audience. But what we missed is this: many men process internally first and then act externally. The oil change becomes meditation. The spreadsheet becomes therapy. The midnight jog becomes prayer. This is how masculine energy transforms pain into purpose, not through confession, but through contribution. And the thing that makes him functional, his ability to bear weight without breaking, is the exact thing we now criticize him for. So let me ask you this. What if masculine emotional processing isn't a bug, it's a feature? What if the world needs people who respond to crisis by building? What if families need someone who absorbs chaos and converts it into calm action? What if communities need individuals who can carry weight silently, creating space for others to process openly? The mistake we're making is thinking that there's only one right way for this path. That one approach is healthy and the other is broken. Now, if you love a man who processes this way, and I'm talking to wives, daughters, sisters, girlfriends, mothers, here's what he actually needs from you. Recognition, not reformation. See his work as emotional labor, not emotional avoidance. Space, not interrogation. Let him build, fix, organize without needing to explain why. Trust, not concern. Trust that his way of handling pain is valid. When he's overwhelmed and reorganizing the garage at dawn, don't ask him what's wrong. Just let him organize. He'll usually pick something productive that needs doing anyway. When he's been quiet for days and suddenly announces he's building a shed, don't analyze his motivations. Just say, okay, let him build. When he throws himself into work during difficult times, don't guilt him for avoiding. Appreciate that he's keeping things stable while processing internally, because here's what you need to understand about men who don't talk about their pain. He's not avoiding his emotions. He's not out of touch with his feelings. He's doing something incredibly difficult. He's feeling everything, the weight, the pressure, the fear, the uncertainty, and still showing up. He's still carrying the load, still functioning. That's not emotional numbness, that's emotional discipline. So the next time you see a man who doesn't process like others do, don't assume he's broken. Maybe he's not the problem. Maybe he's quietly transforming pain into productivity, one purposeful action at a time. And maybe, just maybe, the world needs this kind of strength too.